everyone, in this video I'd like to talk about how to factor the polynomial 3x squared plus 7x minus 6. So I'm going to use a method which I call reverse FOIL. And if we remember, when we used the FOIL method, we had two sets of parentheses and we multiplied the first terms. These were the first terms. Then we multiplied the outer terms and we added those for whatever we got when we multiplied the inners. And then lastly, we had the last positions. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm thinking about, but we have to do that in reverse order. So when I'm thinking about factoring this, I need to put something in the first position, so something right here, that will multiply to give me 3x squared. So I'm going to write first positions. I need to get a 3x squared. So an x and an x will certainly be needed, and 3 is a prime number, so I'm going to need 3x and a 1x. I'll just write that as x. So my first term is done. That's great. Now, the next thing I notice is that my last term is a 6. And to get a 6, we've got a lot of ways to do that. I could do 1 times 6, I could go 6 times 1, I could go 2 times 3, or 3 times 2. So I've kind of got a lot of options there. And I'm going to need to explore to see which of those pairs of factors I'm going to put in my last positions. So that's the number there at the end. The other piece of information that we have here is we have some information about the signs. So when the last sign is negative, this tells me we're going to have different signs in our two little factors here. So I could have a plus minus, or maybe I've got a minus and a plus. I don't know. But the point is that whatever different signs I have there, when I try to obtain the middle term, it's going to be obtained by subtraction, right? If you have one term that's positive and one that's negative, the middle term, we're going to get there by subtraction, needs to be a 7x. So let's just try some things. Usually these work pretty well by trial and error. I'm going to just start with a plus in my first factor and a negative in the second one. And if I need to adjust that later, no worries, I can do that. So if I put in here a 1 and a 6, that's definitely not what I need. Although my last term is satisfied, if I notice my outer terms give me an 18x and the inner terms give me a plus x, that's way too big. That did not give me the 7x. So that is not going to work. And even if I change the signs and got a positive 17, still not going to work. So let's try the 6 and the 1. So now we get on the outer terms, we get a 3x, and on the inner terms, we get a 6x, and that gives me 3x. Also not satisfactory because it's not giving me the 7x. So that is not going to work. Moving on, I'm going to try the 2 and the 3. And this is looking actually very promising here. I might need to adjust my signs, but let's just give it a whirl. My outer terms, I've got a 3x times a negative 3. That's going to be negative 9x. And then the inners, I've got a positive 2x. That gives me negative 7x. Ooh, this is looking really good because I do have a 7x. I messed up the sign, but we can adjust that. So let's adjust it. If I just change my signs around here, I'll be all set. Okay, so let's try that. Now I've got outer terms positive 9x, inner terms negative 2x, and that gives me the desired 7x for the middle term. So we've satisfied the last terms, we've satisfied the middle, and we are all set. We could FOIL this through just to check that it works, and it does.